What about Chainsaw Man stands out for you, and how do you think the scene will appreciate it once it gets its anime adaptation?
I'm kind of scared for the anime adaptation of Chainsaw Man. I think the main thing that I think Chainsaw Man does differently is that it feels, and not just Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch as well, which is Fujimoto's previous work. They feel like they were written by Fujimoto for Fujimoto. And I think that what I mean by that is this: um, a lot of manga, a lot of stories in general, in pretty much any medium, try to follow a bit of structure, try to follow a little bit of some tropes. And I don't think that's necessarily bad. I think that they do that for a reason, and it's important for us to have some familiarity. I think manga that does things differently just for the sake of doing things differently can backfire immensely and can just make a bad manga that is different for the sake of being different. What Fujimoto does is that he knows what tropes and story structure he wants to use, that is established and that is classic, and he knows what of those he doesn't want to use. So we get this story where it isn't 100% different from the other shonens, and it isn't 100% the same. So you never know exactly what is going to happen because you something happens and you may think this is going to go the normal way or this is going to go the different way, and you never know exactly what Fujimoto is going to do. That for me is the biggest thing where you can just you can't predict anything that's going to happen, and a lot of times the things that happen are really interesting and really fun, and he knows how to use imagery in a really different way as well. I think if you, it feels like he's more inspired in movies than he is about manga. So I really appreciate that, and I feel like the reason why I have Chainsaw Man so high on my list is because I feel like Chainsaw Man is kind of a manga made by not by me but for me. I mean, where it just everything that I like about manga, it's there. It's funny, it's scary, it's unnerving. It has a really cool villain. It has a really cool cast of characters they're different and they're insane, which I love when there's a bunch of characters that are really weird and they get to interact with each other. And I love seeing how these weird characters then interact with. And that Chainsaw Man has that. So pretty much everything Chainsaw Man does, I love. And I know a lot of people probably won't love a lot of things, and a lot of people don't love a lot of things in Chainsaw Man. And I think one of the problems is going to be when we eventually reach the part of the manga where a lot of people um, disconnected with, which is the last 20 or so chapters. I think the anime is going to be on a high up till that point, and then a lot of people are going to start hating on Chainsaw Man, and a lot of people are going to start loving Chainsaw Man because that was what happened on manga. I remember before that, a lot of people were really loving Chainsaw Man that eventually talked with, and they were like, "Nah, it just stopped. I just didn't like from this chapter onwards." And then the other people like me were like, "That was the best part." There was no in between, and I feel like that's what's going to happen with the anime as well.
I agree. It's definitely going to be something that is quite polarizing, and I think it's going to set a lot of trends. There's going to be a lot of interesting
Mm-hmm.
discussions and a lot of overly analytical AniTube anime breakdowns, which I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to criticizing. And I really, I just want to see something like Chainsaw Man brought to the world. I want to see how they deal with the pacing. I want to see how they deal with this interesting and unique story that, while isn't 100% brand new, is a refreshing take on what shonen is. And I even wonder, what will the second part of Chainsaw Man look like? Will it live up to what the first part had? Will it go beyond that? I'm very excited, and I don't know. I think we're entering a really great time, and Chainsaw Man is the linchpin of that. It's going to be something great for sure.
Yeah. Have you by any chance read Fire Punch yet?
Yes, I was reading it as it was coming out, and
Yeah. Okay.
I liked it. I did. I thought there were parts which actually very similar to Chainsaw Man. There was a certain
Mhm.
point where I just kind of lost interest,
Yeah.
and it was a chore to continue it.
I really love Fire Punch, but I think that's I think that's kind of what we should expect from part two, where in the ending of Fire Punch, things just went completely off the rails. Like the last two volumes or so. That happened with Chainsaw Man as well, as we were talking. Like the last two volumes just go completely off the rails. And knowing Fujimoto, again, it's a guy that we can't predict what he's gonna do, but I feel like he's gonna try to stop everything that he did with Chainsaw Man, and it's gonna polarize more people. So
Well, let's see. I think Fujimoto is incredibly talented. I also think, and maybe it's not fair to say this because he doesn't really have a large body of work. He has what, like just less than like 300 chapters in total of
mhm.
work altogether.
Yeah,
But I don't know if he has a fourth quarter in him, if you know what I mean. I think he starts off very, very strong, and I think he can elevate his game and his writing in the mid period of what he does. But I think when it comes to finishing off a series, even if plans on continuing it later on, you see a little bit of a slip. And I saw it twice already. I don't know
yeah.
if we're going to see it a third time around. I would love to be proven wrong on that fact, but at the same time, I do feel that he doesn't finish the race as strong as he starts it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can definitely see why someone would think that.